it's me again for some reason or other. Just realized that I haven't done any kind of update in over a week, so this is me trying to rectify that. So yeah, today is I guess more or less the official kickoff to the holiday weekend. And it's a day that I should have had off, but I guess things don't always happen the way that we expect, you know? So, yeah, last weekend, or last week, the situation that at my job, as I understood it, was that we were going to try to have all of this weekend off. And my cell lead, he's a guy who's new to the role, and you know, he came over from the other building, you know, so he knows the plant, and you know, has some experience being a supervisor, so you know whatever. But yeah, he tells us that he wants to have those shut down for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You know, make a nice long holiday weekend. And you know, he tells us go ahead and put in for vacation time, and for any days that we want to have off, unpaid, we can just leave those and not worry about it. So I go and I put in for Sunday off. Leave Saturday off because, well, it's one of those things where I'd like to get paid for it, yes, but I also want to save up my vacation hours for later on in the year. And if I'm being totally honest, my financial state is such that, yeah, I could use more money, always, but it's not like I desperately need, you know, that one day unpaid is going to decimate my finances or anything. But anyway, so the the assumed situation was going to be that I would have Saturday off and take a vacation day Sunday, have Monday off for the holiday, and then work Tuesday. And on Monday morning, which was the last time I saw this supervisor, he tells me, go ahead, make plans for the weekend. So he was saying that as far as he could see, we'd be shut down for the weekend. So cool, I'm thinking, yay! I could use a nice 6-day weekend. I mean, who couldn't, you know? But yeah, that turned out not to be. So Thursday morning rolls around, and as I'm stopped at the gas station, refueling my car, and just waiting for the pump to finish doing its thing, I decided to check my phone, and there's a text from him, and he tells me that yeah, they want every cell running over the weekend. So yeah, so much for that plan of having time off on Saturday. So this is me right now, unwinding for the morning before I have to go back to work tonight, and yeah, work one day and then have 2 days off. I mean, yeah, it could be a whole lot worse, but yeah, still, I'd like to have these extended weekends that don't have interruptions like that. I know I'm just nitpicking, kind of bitching for the sake of bitching, you know, but you kind of get your heart set on just having a day to do nothing, and then you find out that that's been pulled out from under you. I'm a little disappointed with that, but but I guess on the positive side, I'm working those hours, and it's the weekend schedule where I have overtime hours coming in, so it'll wind up giving me 9 hours at my overtime rate, which is not a bad thing. So I'm choosing to look at it from the positive, and that it'll when you figure in the holiday, the regular regular rate of pay plus the overtime rate, you know, it's a few $100s anyway. That's the thing with those 12-hour shifts is that if you work or don't work one shift, that that present or missing income does add up very quickly. Doubly so when there's overtime for almost all of it. So yeah. Anyway, it'll wind up being a full paycheck next payday. So I'll take it. My last few have been a little short because I haven't been able to capitalize or to utilize that overtime, time and a half rate, and I'm kind of missing it. It's been the last two paychecks in a row that I've had time off. The last one was because I took the day off for the Icon for Hire show. Used vacation hours there, so no overtime on that week. And 2 weeks before that, I had my court date. So, it wound up being the same impact. Sorry, I got a cat hair in my nose. Love the cat, but she sheds so much. Hair is everywhere. But, yeah. Anyway, so that's the situation with my working this weekend. I mean, yeah, I still get Sunday off because I put a vacation day for that day, but had I known that it was going to work out this way, I would not have put in for that day off. I mean, we just kind of hadn't worked and taken just the holiday off. But whatever, Yeah. Sharky. But yeah. Finally got around to updating some more shit with my name change on Friday, yesterday. So the bank now knows who I am. And yeah, Thursday. It's one of those things I really don't like about this place. Get those random popping noises from the frame all over the house at night. Makes me paranoid that one day I'm just gonna wind up with a giant hole in the ceiling or one of the walls where a stud used to be, and come to find out that it just popped and broke away into nothing. I know it's not really likely to happen, but I get paranoid. I think of the worst case scenario, things like that. But yeah, so yeah, Thursday I wound up going over to visit mom, and kind of wound up in one of those really awkward situations. When she told me that she was going to have someone coming over to discuss assistive. Yeah, I get tongue tied easily. Sorry. The assisted living options in the area. One of the homes available to her had someone come over just as I was leaving on Thursday. And it was one of those awkward situations because introductions had to be made. And I don't know if I've really talked about this before, but yeah. So in the entire time I've been transitioning, the subject has very rarely been brought up with my parent or my mother. Um, just because she's one of those absolutely is a product of the 1950s, where she grew up and got that old conservative mindset. And yeah, so I'm also a non-confrontational person. I'm very timid and shy in most cases. So I'm very anxious about ever bringing up major changes like this, especially uh, if I know that goes against her sensibilities and values. And yeah, so I never talked to her about my name change. I mean, it's been like pulling teeth to get myself to be able to talk about my transition in general. But so anyway, this representative from the assisted living place stops in as I'm putting my shoes on to leave, and we make introductions, and that's when I get to the awkward point where I'm like, well, I am Mila. And I kind of had a add an asterisk to that with the acknowledgement that Mommy Dearest still refers to me by my dead name because we've not had that conversation yet. And oh dear Lord, if looks could kill, that look of disgust that she gave me when I made that introduction, ugh, I could have razed a city to the ground. So yeah, I was more than happy to get out of there after that. And I know, I mean, I know. At the end of the day, it's my life, it's my decisions. As for what steps I take, I mean, that always has been my life. I just tend to be a little too considerate over other people's feelings, which is why it took me until I was 39, almost 40 years old to the transition, to start transitioning. Because of all that whole, how will everyone else respond to it angle. And I mean, yeah, I'm kind of definitely was a fool for waiting so long. And I guess I'm kind of a pansy for not having the tough conversations even now. Even when I do have definite things going on and legal changes have been made and surgical consults to consider. So yeah. Speaking of that, Wednesday I had my appointment with a second therapist, during which we had a very lengthy conversation about my history, my state of mind, my medical history, my family history, my support networks, my plans for the future, my contingencies as far as who's going to care for my cat when I'm recovering, when I'm laid up from the surgeries, and just things of that nature. And yeah, I was surprised that we went so in depth on everything, but at the end of it all, he said he's going to give me his letter of approval and pass that along to the surgeon. So I am now just one appointment away from getting my surgery scheduled. Now at this point, The two that I'm considering are the breast augmentation and the vaginoplasty, which is going to be a zero depth one. And yeah, just just a little fair warning here. I might, this maybe TMI. I don't know. I mean, I really don't care at this point, because if you're watching because you have a reason to. You're watching because you want to, and anyway, you've been warned if if this whole talk is more than you really want to hear about. But yeah, so a lot of people think that the vaginoplasty is um, just the standard, for lack of better terminology, inversion of the penis, which I believe that's the standard procedure. But there's a lot of aftercare on that, and the recovery time is a lot longer. There's it's a much more invasive surgery, obviously. But the one that I'm going to go for is what they call zero depth, and there won't be any of that. That there won't be a canal down there, but on the outside it'll still look like it should. Once the operation's done, and I won't have to worry about dilation or any of that shit. Should be a lot easier recovery time on that, and the therapist told me that I forgot what term I actually used, but like the rate of post-surgical complications and need to go back and rework things is significantly lower with this option versus the standard. I didn't know until he told me that the standard procedure generally has around a 50% rate of needing to go back and fix things. He didn't specify a timeline, like right away or within a couple of years, or just how much time the window is on that. But he said that it's about 50% of the time that has to be retouched in some way. Whereas with the zero depth option, it's less than a third. So I feel my chances are pretty good that it should be, all things considered, comparatively easy. I mean, I've got no illusions that it's going to be a walk in the park, but versus the standard, that one's going to be that one would just be way more than I really want to deal with, to be honest. But the fact of the matter is, for one, I'm asexual, so the whole concept of getting the canal done down there is, there's really no point to it for me. So it's like, why should I bother with all that extra work and effort, and when I could just do it the less invasive way, and it won't hurt me anymore. So why not? It's like when I first heard about it and was made aware that it is that much less invasive, and I'll assume it's a shorter recovery time too. I was just like, hell yeah, sign me up for that one instead. Otherwise, you gotta do dilation several times a day at first, and then a few times a week, basically for the rest of your life. That sounds really exhausting, to be honest. But this way, won't have to worry about any of that. But that will be, last I heard, that's like a year and a half wait through the healthcare system I go through. The breast augmentation, to be honest, I'm still on the fence about it. I think I want to do it, but I'm not totally sold on it yet. But that's the decision I'm going to make when I have my consult. Because I'm looking at like they, they haven't really changed any in the past year. So I feel like all that progress has stalled out, and there's really nothing more to be gained as far as size goes. So I'm going to need a little help to reach my initial hopes. I was hoping to get to a solid B cup, but yeah, even that's a stretch for me right now. I'm AB right now. If I'm being totally transparent here, that's all the progress I made. So a little disappointed there that I wasn't blessed with the good genes in that regard. But anyway, that's really all I want to talk about with my with my surgical consult stuff and my plans there. If I do get the breast augmentation, that'll be about a half year wait, they told me. This was back in March, so that timetable might have changed. But hopefully it's not longer. I'd like to be able to get that done before the end of the year. But the big one, the vaginoplasty, that one they say it's about a year and a half to wait on that one because there aren't enough surgeons to go around that can do that procedure. So my biggest concern on that is political, because we have the elections coming up again next year, where President Biden will probably wind up losing out on any kind of re-election bid, and my fear is that one of the anti-trans Republicans will wind up getting elected, because not enough people will care about our issues to let that be a deciding factor in who they vote for. And as soon as they wind up in the White House, that'll be the end of it for us as far as trans rights go, as far as access to our affirming healthcare. I want to be wrong about that, but I don't see it going any other way. You saw what that shit they pulled with Missouri. As I understand it, they've since retracted that order, but that's going to embolden other states to follow suit. And then again, got enough Republicans doing that, and if they have the majority of Congress plus the presidency, I'm sure that'll be number one item on their agenda, is to just do a gender affirming care total ban for all, regardless of age. Now, prove me wrong, please. I really want to be proved wrong on this. I want to believe that sanity can endure, can prevail, and people like myself will just be allowed to just live our lives as we have been, receive the health care that we need to deal with this condition. But they've been targeting us with these bills for since last year, really, and actually even before then with their bathroom bills and whatnot. It's just this past year they've really stepped it up, and they're not going to stop next year either. Legislative sessions are ending for the year, but they're not going to stop. They're going to continue. They're going to keep going. They're going to bring up more and more bills, because they can. So anyway, with that in mind, I just want to get in and get surgery done before those become illegal for adults, and just finish my transition. I mean, legally, I'm most of the way there. All that remains is to get my passport back and to update my birth certificate, and it'll all be taken care of. But then comes the affirmation surgery next year. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it and get it done before the window is slammed shut on all of us. I mean, it's something that I know most of you won't think about, but for someone like me, that it does make all the difference. I know gender dysphoria is something that you can't really describe. I mean, I've tried many times to describe it, but it's something that you have to experience to really understand it. To understand that disconnection between the person that you are inside and the person that you see on the outside, it's a total mismatch. And I know the standard response from the right is, just deal with it, just learn how to live with it, be content with who you are, all that self-help pamphlet bullshit. But I guess I would ask, so you tell me just be content, be happy with who and what I am on the outside. So I have to ask, what's the secret? How do you do it? I want step-by-step instructions on how you achieve that contentment. Maybe then I'll follow it, I'll practice it, and I'll let you know just how easy it was for me to not be trans. See, so I call bullshit on that school of thought, because what is the secret to your contentment with your birth sex? That's what I want to know. If you can share that secret, if you can put it into words and explain it to me like I'm 5, then fucking do it. Show me the error of my ways. Show me how you managed to be happy with the body that you were given at birth. Show me how you've never had any problems with it. How did you adapt and make yourself happy with what you had? I would love to know. Until then, just shut the fuck up and let all of us seek the care that we need to fix that balance between the person that we are and the person that exists on the outside. But anyway, yeah, I got a little ranty there, sorry. God, I really hate my voice right now. It sounds horrible. It's been sounding horrible last couple of days. Kind of makes me wonder why I decided to do a video today, because I don't like how my voice sounds whatsoever. It sounds too much like my old voice. I mean, I was at the bank earlier today, or yesterday now, and talking to the teller there, and I could not raise my pitch to save my life. I sounded like my fucking old self, and I hated that. Let me try a little experiment here once I finish yawning. So, I mean, I'm talking with this voice right now, and I mean, it's mostly my my natural tone, but it does feel a little bit lower than usual. But if I can drop this down a little bit. Yeah, so I can wind up about right here, and I mean, this was the voice that I used to have a long time ago. Never liked it. I always felt that it was just too, just too. Yeah. So I try to fix that a little bit. I know you can tell the difference when I do it like that, but holding on to it when I'm in a more a lengthy conversation becomes more of a challenge, because I relax too much, wind up not holding the larynx up. Because really the difference between what I'm saying now and what you heard just a minute ago was the height of the larynx. So I can move it up a little bit and get the intended result, or I can drop it down and wind up with a voice that sounds like a fucking guy. Which I absolutely hate. So, I don't know if that really makes a difference to you or not, as far as learning things, but just something to think about if you ever want to consider, fucking around with your voice and see if you can, for lack of a better term, gender swap your voice. I mean, I'm far from a feminine voice, even on my best days, but I never want to go back to that low masculine voice I used to have ever again. It's not that I'm a super deep voice or ever was, but I never liked it. And I am talking in circles here, so I'm just going to shut up, turn the camera off, and go to bed, because it's got to be at least 5:30 by now, and I would like to get some sleep. Because sleep is my friend, and I could use a friend right now. A little story before I go. So earlier, like 2 hours ago, I was sitting in my chair downstairs playing a game, Cold Steel 3. Good God, those games are long, by the way. Had my cat sleeping on my chest as I'm reclined back, and I'm playing the game. I doze off, and I still had the controller in hand, and I don't understand why exactly, but I started dreaming about playing Smash Brothers. I was getting pissed off at the game, at Smash Brothers, because I was moving my thumbs in real life, and nothing was happening in the game in my dream. because I couldn't feel the sticks moving because I was holding the controller by the grips. So I kept bumping where the plastic curves, but there was no stick there, to move around or manipulate. So I was getting pissed off at the game in my dream for that. I finally woke up enough that I realized, oh yeah, okay, that explains the dream. Get back into the game, and of course the cat decides that she's had enough with me. Climbs down my leg and jumps off the chair. Anyway, that was stupid, I know. Just one of those things I happen to think of. Alright, yeah, so I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to hope that all of you have a great Memorial Day weekend. Those of you that celebrate it. If you're in the country outside of the U.S. and don't celebrate it this weekend, then I just hope that you have a good weekend instead. Just a generic good weekend. Because you all deserve a good weekend. Anyway. Alright, I will shut up and, yeah. Bye-bye.